Hey everyone, and welcome to my March Recent Reads wrap up. I read a lot of amazing books in March, so let's talk about some of my favourites. First up was Chaos Choreography by Shauna Maguire, and this is the fourth one in the Encrypted series, which I always describe as being like, what if the Addams family were cryptozoologists, and you kind of get an idea as to what this series is about and the tone of it and everything else. And this book was so much fun to read, to say the least. This one is following Verity again, and she's been invited back on the show Dance or Die, which is a little bit like Strictly Come Dancing and Dancing with the Stars, things like this, and she's been invited back on again to compete, and when she goes there she starts competing, and then some of the dancers start dying, and she's got to figure out who's doing it and why they're doing it and all of this kind of thing. And this was so much fun to read once again. I really enjoyed this one. I especially loved the dancing element of this one because it made me really miss watching Strictly Come Dancing, and I probably should have read this one around Strictly season, but never mind. I still really enjoyed this one. It just made me miss Strictly more than I usually do throughout the rest of the year. I also loved all of the new characters we were introduced to in this one. Specifically, I absolutely adored Grandma Alice. I thought she was fantastic, and she quickly became one of my new favourite characters of this series within a page of meeting her. I adored her. I adored all of the other characters as well we got to meet throughout here. I really liked the mystery of this one as well, and then that ending had me screaming. I could not believe the ending. I was desperate to read the next one in the series, and this was just so much fun once again. I loved it. I then also read Torchwood Slow Decay by Andy Lane, and this one is a Torchwood book set within the world of Torchwood because I was going down to Cardiff for my birthday, which is where they filmed it, and we got to see the outside of Torchwood and then also Yanto Shrine and everything else. I was a very happy fangirl, and I wanted to read this one, or at least listen to the audiobook before I went to kind of get into that Torchwood spirit, and this one really held up from when I was a kid. I will say it was a little bit more fat-phobic than I was remembering, because this one specifically is about diet culture and weight and food and this kind of thing, so please be warned about that. There is a lot of talk in here about weight, food, eating, fat phobia and all of this kind of thing, so just be warned if you are going to read this one. But I did really enjoy it. It definitely held up to when I was a kid, and I genuinely loved being back in this world again and rereading this one for the first time in about 15 years. I then also read Network Effect, and this one is the fifth book in the Murderbot series, and this one was just as fun as the other ones. It's a little bit longer because it is a full-length novel compared to the usual novellas, but it was the perfect thing to listen to on the way to and from Cardiff, and I did really like this one. I really liked how this had a lot of returning characters, especially one I did not expect to see again, so I did really enjoy that. I also really enjoyed as well how this one explored what Murderbot now wants from its life now that it's a free security unit. I really enjoyed those conversations and seeing it slowly work out what it wants. I also as well really like that this actually covered the trauma that some of the characters have been through in the last few books, because I felt that that was a really important conversation, and I'm really glad that that was actually covered throughout this book, and I just had a really good time with this one. The only two comics I managed to read were Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil volumes 1 and 2, and these were fantastic. This is a brilliant continuation from the previous series that I was reading, where we're seeing more and more of Mayor Fisk and what he's getting up to, while Matt is also dealing with the fact that he's had a major injury and how that's affecting him. I loved as well this storyline of Matt being framed for murder and how that's affecting him and what that's doing to him in terms of his reputation as well as his psyche. I really enjoyed all of that. I'm definitely continuing on with the series throughout April because this was fantastic to read. Also read Doctor Strange by Derek Landy issue 4, and once again this was fantastic. I'm not going to give away spoilers because this is brand new, but I did really enjoy this one. I love the fight scenes in this and everything to do with it. It was so much fun. And then finally, I had 2 5-star reads this month, and the first one was The Martian by Andy Weir, which was very kindly gifted to me by Olivia Savannah of Olivia's Catastrophe, so thank you so much, Olivia, for gifting me this book. I loved every single second of reading this one. Specifically, I really loved Mark's journey throughout here and seeing him trying to survive on Mars by himself. I loved all of the jokes he was making throughout here. I really enjoyed those as well because I love a character who makes a lot of jokes, and Mark is definitely one of them. There were points where I was laughing out loud at his jokes, which was fantastic for me. I also loved as well in here that the science was very complicated, but I could still follow along with what was going on. I will say that the maths bit completely lost me because I am not a math person, so I just kind of had to smile, nod and go absolutely yeah, sure, fine, whatever, and just sort of go with it because I had no idea what the hell any of the maths was on about. But overall, I really enjoyed the science of this one. I loved how well researched this was as well because it felt very well researched. I loved all of that. I loved as well the fact that we got to see more of the rest of the astronauts on Mark's mission in this, because up until now I had only ever seen the movie. But overall, I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was fantastic. I loved every single second of it. Thank you so much, Olivia Savannah, for gifting me this book. I adored it. The final book I have to mention is Skullduggery Pleasant, A Soul Full of Shadows by Derek Landy, because this book put me through the ringer. When I say that Derek Landy is an evil genius, it is the highest compliment I could give him, and he has proven this over the last 17 books, but this one just proved it even more, because he made me cry 4 times reading this book, and I am not a book crier. He had me nearly crying 4 times while reading this, because of the things he put those characters through. I obviously cannot say what they are, because obviously this is a brand new book, and also the 18th book in the series. What I will do is actually leave my vlog up above where I go into full spoilery detail. If you are someone who is a fan of this series and you've already read it, or you don't particularly care, just want to know why I was crying, I will leave that link up above. But to say the least, in this spoiler-free way, this book absolutely put me through the ringer 4 times while I was reading this, nearly had me crying multiple occasions of grief and also happiness, and it was absolutely incredible. One of the best books in the series by far, if not the best book in the series by far. I adored every single second of this one, and Derek Landy is an evil genius. That's all I've got. Absolutely adored it, absolutely brilliant. Derek Landy is also an evil genius. And these were my favourite books from the month of March. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me what you read in March. I would love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a skull emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave the link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, and my YouTube channel, also dedicated to Marvel Comics, if you want to get to know more about Daredevil, or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But till next time everyone, bye!